case you're wondering who I am, I'm the Alphabet Man. See this big heavy bag I'm carrying on my back? That's my alphabet song bag. Just a moment while I put my alphabet song bag down. There. I've got a song in my song bag for each one of the letters in the alphabet. I even have a special song for all of the letters. It goes like this.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, and Y, and last comes Z.
That's my special alphabet song. There are 26 letters in the alphabet, and I've got a song or a bit of music for every letter. 26 songs. That's what makes my song bag so heavy. Now I'll just reach down into my song bag and pull out the first song for you. There it is. It's the letter A, and A is for apple, so that means a song with an apple in it. The singer of this song even wished that somehow he might be able to turn himself into an apple.
I wish I was an apple hanging on a tree. Every time my Cindy passed, she'd take a bite of me. You ought to see my Cindy, she lives away down south. She's so sweet, the honeybees swarm about her mouth. Get along home, Cindy, Cindy, get along home, Cindy, Cindy, get along home, Cindy, Cindy, I'll marry you someday. She took me to her parlor and cooled me with her fan. She said I was the prettiest thing, her favorite kind of man. I wish I had a needle, and to my back I'd sew that old Cindy gal of mine, and down the road we'd go. Get along home, Cindy, Cindy, get along home, Cindy, Cindy, get along home, Cindy, Cindy, I'll marry you someday.
A is for apple, and other words too. A is for airplane, A is for automobile. But I've only got room in my song bag for 26 songs, one for each letter, so let's go on to B. B is for boy, and especially a boy named Billy who was thinking about taking a wife. Billy Boy was sure she'd be as fit to be his wife as the fork is to the knife.
Where have you been all the day, Billy Boy, Billy Boy? Where have you been all the day, me Billy Boy?
I've been out with Nancy Gray, and she's stolen me heart away. She's me Nancy, tickle me fancy.
Oh, me charming Billy Boy. Is she fit to be your wife, Billy Boy, Billy Boy? Is she fit to be your wife, me Billy Boy?
She's as fit to be a wife as a fork is to a knife. She's me Nancy, tickle me fancy.
Oh, me charming Billy Boy. Can she bake a cherry pie, Billy Boy, Billy Boy? Can she bake a cherry pie, me Billy Boy?
She can bake a cherry pie quick as you can wink an eye. She's me Nancy, tickle me fancy.
Oh, me charming Billy Boy.
B for boy, B for Billy, and B for the big ball that Billy Boy bounces. When a young man, or a bird too for that matter, wants to take a wife, he has to court the lady of his choice. Courting means saying nice things to her, and above all, being nice. C is for courting, but even among the birds, courting doesn't always go so easily. One of the birds in this song, for instance, courted a lady fair, but she just turned her back.
I said the blackbird sitting on a chair. Once I courted a lady fair. She proved fickle and turned her back, and ever since then I've dressed in black. Towdy rowdy dee dum dum, towdy rowdy dee dum day, towdy rowdy dee dum dum, towdy rowdy dee dum day. I said the little leather-winged bat, I will tell you the reason that I fly in the night is because I've lost my heart's delight. Towdy rowdy dee dum dum, towdy rowdy dee dum day, towdy rowdy dee dum dum, towdy rowdy dee dum day. I said the woodpecker standing in the shade, Once I courted a lovely maid, she got sulky and from me fled, and ever since then my head's been red. Towdy-rowdy-dee-dem-dum, towdy-rowdy-dee-dem-day, towdy-rowdy-dee-dem-dum, towdy-rowdy-dee-dem-day. I said the little turtle dove, I'll tell you how to get back your love. Court her night and court her day, never give her time to say oh nay. Towdy-rowdy-dee-dem-dum, towdy-rowdy-dee-dem-day, towdy-rowdy-dee-dem-dum, towdy-rowdy-dee-dem-day.
C is for courting. We all know that. And C can also stand for cat. D is for dog. D is for dig. But instead of letting a dog dig, I'll do some more digging down into my song bag. Here's a drum. D is also for drum. So let's listen to a drummer drum out a song on his drum. Yes, I dug down for D and came up with a drum. And the next letter I'll come up with is E. E is for east, where the sun comes up. If you get up early enough, E for early, E for enough, you'll be able to watch the sun come up. You'll be looking east, whether it's across a field, a mountain, or even the waters of an eastern sea. I know a song about a brave cabin boy who once sailed the waters of the eastern sea.
There was a ship that sailed all on the eastern sea, and the name of our ship was the Golden Vanity, and we feared she would be taken by the Turkish enemy that sails upon the east, that sails upon the eastern sea. Then up there came a little cabin boy, and he said to the skipper, "What will you give to me if I swim alongside of the Turkish enemy and sink her in the east, and sink her in the eastern sea?" "Oh, I will give you silver, and I will give you gold, and my only daughter your bride to be, if you'll swim alongside of the Turkish enemy and sink her in the east, and sink her in the eastern sea." Then the boy made him ready, and overboard sprang he, and he swam alongside of the Turkish enemy, and with his auger sharp in her side he bored holes 3, and he sank her in the east, he sank her in the eastern sea. Then the boy turned round and back again swam he, and he cried out to the skipper of the Golden Vanity, but the skipper did not heed, for his promise he would need, and he left him in the eastern, he left him in the eastern sea.
E is for east and the eastern sea, and then F comes after E. F is for fly, that furious little fellow who loves to fly about. And if you ever happen to hear a fly fiddle, it's very apt to be the fly in this song.
Fiddle-dee-dee, bumblebee. Fiddle-dee-dee, fiddle-dee-dee, the fly has married the bumblebee. Fiddle-dee-dee, fiddle-dee-dee, the fly has married the bumblebee. Said the bee, says she, I'll live under your wing. You'll never know I carry a sting. Fiddle-dee-dee, fiddle-dee-dee, the fly has married the bumblebee. Fiddle-dee-dee, fiddle-dee-dee, the fly has married the bumblebee. When the parson beetle had married the pair, they both went out to take the air. Fiddle-dee-dee, fiddle-dee-dee, the fly has married the bumblebee. Fiddle-dee-dee, fiddle-dee-dee, the fly has married the bumblebee. They buzzed about and the bells did ring. There never was heard so merry a thing. Fiddle-dee-dee, fiddle-dee-dee, the fly has married the bumblebee.
Well now, the letter G comes next. G is for guitar, the musical instrument played in our next song. And G is for gypsy, too. Can you tell me what a gypsy is? Is it a person who rides about in a high wooden wagon, or sleeps in a tent at night, and wears golden earrings? Is that what you thought? Because that's just what my mother once told me. Oh, and gypsies love to play the guitar.
Three gypsies stood at the castle gate. They sang so high, they sang so low. The lady sat in her chamber late. Her heart it melted away like snow. They sang so sweet, they sang so shrill, that fast her tears began to flow. And she laid down her silken gown, her golden pin she would no more show. Oh, saddle me up my milk-white horse, and go and fetch me my pony, oh, that I may ride and seek my bride, who is riding with the raggle-taggle gypsies home. Last night you slept on a goose-feather bed, with the sheet turned down so bravely, oh, but tonight you'll sleep in a cold open field, along with the raggle-taggle gypsies home. What care I for a goose-feather bed, with the sheet turned down so bravely, oh, for tonight I shall sleep in a cold open field, along with the raggle-taggle gypsies home.
There go the gypsies. You can just see their wagon crossing the top of that hill. H is for hill, a high hill, and H is for heart. They say of a person who's brave and good that he has a heart of oak. Well, here's an old song with plenty of heart in it.
Cheer up, my lads, 'tis to glory we steer, to add something more to this wonderful year. To honor we call you as free men, not slaves, for who are so free as the sons of the waves. Heart of oak are our ships, heart of oak are our men. We always are ready, steady, boys, steady. We'll fight and we'll conquer again and again. Our foes here, and we'll make our foes flee, and drop them on shore as we drop them on sea. Then cheer up, my lads, with one heart let us sing.
Our soldiers, our sailors, our statesmen, our king, heart of oak are our ships, heart of oak are our men. We always are ready, steady, boys, steady. We'll fight and we'll conquer again and again.
The letter I is for island, and I is for Ireland, an island country where many a fine song is sung. I'll bring up an Irish song for you right away, sure and I will. It tells about a man named Willie Brennan, who, sad to say, used to rob people of their money in old Ireland.
Tis about a fierce highwayman, my story I will tell. His name was Willie Brennan, and in Ireland he did dwell. 'Twas upon the King's Mountain he began his wild career, and many an Irish gentleman before him shook with fear. Oh, it's Brennan on the moor, Brennan on the moor. Boldly and undaunted stood young Brennan on the moor. Upon the Irish highway old Brennan he sat down. He met the mayor of Moorland 5 miles outside the town. Now the mayor he knew Brennan, and I think, says he, your name is Willie Brennan, you must come along with me. Oh, it's Brennan on the moor, Brennan on the moor. Boldly and undaunted stood young Brennan on the moor. Now Brennan got his blunderbuss, my story I'll unfold. He caused the mayor to tremble and to give up his gold. Says he, hand me that 10 penny, and as soon as Willie spoke, he drew out his blunderbuss from underneath his cloak. Oh, Brennan on the moor, Brennan on the moor. Boldly and undaunted stood young Brennan on the moor.
The letter J is next. There's a jolly kind of music that we call jazz. I'm going to reach down into my song bag and bring up a jazz band to play some jazz for you. J is for jazz. K is for king who sits on a throne. Here comes the king now. It's our old friend, that merry old King Cole. And the trumpeters will blow a fanfare in his honor.
Old King Cole was a merry old soul, and a merry old soul was he. He called for his pipe, and he called for his bowl, and he called for his fiddlers 3. Tweedle, 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 went his fiddlers three. Tweedle, 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 went his fiddlers three.
Well, I see that my alphabet song bag's almost half empty now.